All right, folks, let's get into it. There's a reason we call them classics. These are the cartridges that were trusted by our grandfathers, the rounds that built a legacy of one-shot, ethical kills and meat on the table. But over the years, as happens, the spotlight shifted. New cartridges hit the shelves every year, screaming about speed and ballistic coefficients. The marketing hype for modern rounds took over. And those old legends? They got pushed to the back of the gun safe. Gun shops stopped stocking them. The magazines stopped writing about them. And a whole generation of shooters just figured they were obsolete. But here's the thing about performance, it never gets old. In 2025, some of these classic calibers are making a serious comeback. From the whitetail woods of the East to the big game plains out west, hunters are waking up and rediscovering just how much accuracy, power, and absolute reliability these old-timers still bring to the table. Number 5. The 7x57mm Mauser. Let's wind the clock all the way back to 1892. Paul Mauser himself designed this round, and it would go on to change everything. It built its reputation on 3 pillars that still matter today. A trajectory that shoots flatter than you'd believe, recoil so mild you can shoot it all day long, and terminal performance that just hammers big game. For over a century, soldiers and hunters have trusted this cartridge. It was adopted by Spain in the 1890s. It saw service across Mexico, Latin America, and Africa. It saw combat in the Spanish-American War, the Boer War, and even popped up in both world wars. What made it so revolutionary? It was one of the very first small-bore, high-velocity, smokeless powder cartridges. It made everything that came before it obsolete, and it was the direct inspiration for giants like the 3006 Springfield. We're looking at a .284-inch bullet in a rimless bottleneck case with a length of 2.244 inches. Now, this is critical. SAAMI, our standard, holds it to a mild 51,000 psi. That's because of all the old, weaker surplus rifles still out there. But the European CIP standard runs it at a more realistic 57,000 psi. And in a modern bolt-action handloaders know you can safely push it even hotter, especially with bullets in the 140 to 175 grain class. So where does it excel? Just about everywhere. It's an ideal big game round. We're talking deer, elk, and even moose. Its sectional density is off the charts. That means it penetrates for days. This is the cartridge that Karamojo Bell famously used to take down elephants in Africa with 175 grain solids. He trusted it because it drives deep and straight. The weakness? As we said, factory ammo here in the US is often downloaded, and it's just not as popular as its descendants, like the 7mm 08. Ammo and brass aren't always on every shelf like 3008 is. But for handloaders, oh, this is a paradise. That long case neck is perfect for seating heavy for caliber bullets, think 160 grain partitions or 175 grain soft points. Pair those with a good powder like IMR 4350 or H4831, and you've got a load that hits with authority. The verdict? It's still one of the most perfectly balanced hunting rounds ever designed. It has plenty of punch, it's extremely accurate, and the recoil is a gentle push, not a sharp crack. The 7x57 Mauser proves you don't need the latest, greatest caliber to get timeless, field-proven performance. Number 4. The 257 Roberts. Next up, a round affectionately known to everyone as the 257 Bob. This cartridge lives in that absolute sweet spot for North American game. It's a 1/4-inch bore that delivers the perfect mix of speed, accuracy, and flat-out shootability. It started as a Wildcat round back in the 1920s, built by Ned Roberts. Then, in 1934, Remington was smart enough to put it into commercial production. They tweaked the design, gave it a bit more case capacity. And what's its parent case? The very same 7x57 Mauser. We just talked about just neck down to take a .257 bullet. We're looking at a case length of 2.233 inches running a large rifle primer with a SAAMI max pressure of 54,000 psi. So what's it good for? It's a fantastic varmint round. Lightweight bullets are absolutely screaming, but it's really a deer hunter's dream cartridge. The recoil is incredibly light, making it a fantastic choice for new shooters or anyone who's recoil sensitive. It's just easy to shoot well, and a gun you can shoot well is a gun you'll be confident with when that buck steps out. The downside? Factory ammo can be sparse. It's just not as common as the .243 Winchester or the .250-06 Remington, and that ammo, when you find it, can be pricey. But again, handloaders love the bob. Bullet weights from 75 all the way up to 100 grains are just beautiful in this cartridge. Load it up with some IMR 4350 or H4831, and you can push its performance right up against the .250-06, especially with the plus P loads that Remington released. That plus P designation is key. It lets you get more horsepower, but only in modern, strong rifles. The Bob was never a blockbuster sales giant, but it built a fiercely devoted following among hunters who knew what they had. It's the perfect balance. It's softer shooting than the .250-06, but more versatile on bigger game than the .243. Almost a century later, this cartridge still gets the job done with authority and with class. Number 3. The 4570 Goverment. Back in 1873, the U.S. military gave us one of the most iconic, hard-hitting cartridges in American history. Its original name told you everything you needed to know: 45-74-05. That was a .458-inch 405-grain bullet pushed by 70 grains of black powder. It was built for the Springfield trapdoor rifle, and it didn't take long for it to earn nicknames like Big Medicine and the Thumper. What's amazing is that a black powder era round is still thriving today, especially in modern lever actions. We're talking a rimmed, straight-walled case with bullet weights from 250 grains up to 500 grains and beyond. The 4570 is a sledgehammer inside of 200 yards. It carries massive, devastating energy and hits like a freight train. From moose to bear to buffalo, this cartridge has put down everything on the continent. It's the ultimate brush buster. That heavy, slow-moving bullet has unstoppable momentum and doesn't get deflected. But to understand the 4570, you must understand the 3 different power levels of ammunition. First, you have trapdoor loads. These are the weakest, loaded to black powder pressures. They are the only thing safe to shoot in an original Springfield. Second, you have lever action loads. This is the most common stuff, built for modern rifles like the Marlin 1895. This is your standard deer and bear medicine. Third, you have the Ruger No. 1, or modern bolt action loads. These are fire-breathing, high-pressure Magnum loads that turn the 4570 into a cartridge capable of taking dangerous game anywhere on Earth. The recoil, especially with those hot loads, is stout. It's not for the faint of heart, and its trajectory is a rainbow. This is not a long-range precision round, but for a guide gun in Alaska, as a bear defense load, or for big hogs in the thick stuff, it is unmatched. This cartridge is over 150 years old, and it's still being chambered in brand-new rifles from Marlin and Henry. Hunters call it the Hammer of Thor, and once you see it in action, you'll know why. Number 2. The .264 Winchester Magnum. Now we step into a completely different world. Long before the Creedmoor, long before the PRC, this was the original 6.5mm speed demon, the .264 Winchester Magnum. Introduced in 1959, this was a belted Magnum based on the powerful .375 H&H case, shortened and necked down. Winchester's goal was simple: create the flattest shooting long-range hunting cartridge on the planet. And they did. It pushes a .264-inch bullet, a 140 grain pill, at a screaming 31 to 3,200 feet per second. This was built for the wide-open spaces of the West. Deer, elk, antelope at ranges people just weren't used to shooting. It was launched in the beautiful Winchester Model 70 Westerner rifle, but its time in the sun was short. Just 3 years later, in 1962, the 7mm Remington Magnum hit the market. The 7mm offered heavier bullets, and it just plain stole the show, pushing the .264 into the shadows. Ballistically, this thing is still a monster. It's fantastic for open country hunts. It still outruns modern 6.5s on raw velocity, but it comes with a famous or infamous trade-off: throat erosion. This is a classic overbore cartridge. It burns a ton of powder to push that small bullet. That generates immense heat and pressure. Back in the day, it earned a reputation as a barrel burner. Modern metallurgy helps, but you still have to be smart about it. This isn't a rifle for high-volume prairie dog shooting. The ammo is also hard to find and expensive. This is really a handloader's cartridge. Is it worth it in 2025? For a handloader who understands it, absolutely. You can get the most out of it, and you can tailor your loads to balance performance and barrel life. It gives you more punch than a Creedmoor, without the blast of a .300 Magnum. It is a forgotten gem that still delivers serious long-range performance. Number 1. The .35 Remington. Often just called the .35 Rem. This is a classic, rimless, bottlenecked cartridge born way back in 1906. It was built for the revolutionary Remington Model 8 semi-automatic rifle, but it found its true home in classic lever-action guns. Of all of Remington's early rimless cartridges, the .35 is the only one still in production over a century later. Why? Because it works. Ballistically, the easiest way to think of it is as the .30-30's big brother. It sits just above the .30-30 in power. It shoots a heavier, .358-inch bullet, giving it more energy and a whole lot more thump. This is not a long-range round. Its effective range is realistically inside 200 yards. It really shines inside 150. This became the go-to round for deer, black bear, and hog hunters all across the eastern woodlands. At close range, it can even handle elk with the right bullet. It's a powerhouse in thick brush, where you need to drop an animal right now. The rifle that made it a legend? The Marlin 336C. That lever action and this cartridge are a perfect pair. Its strength is that heavy bullet. It delivers serious knockdown power and excellent penetration. Its weakness? Ammunition can be tough to find on shelves today, and reloaders are a bit limited on bullet selection compared to more modern .35 caliber rounds. This cartridge predates World War I, and it's still a trusted choice for woodsmen who know what it can do. The .35 Rem isn't flashy, but if you're in the timber and you want a proven round that hits like a hammer inside 200 yards, it is still one of the best options out there. So there you have it, 5 classic rounds that are refusing to stay in the history books. If you enjoyed this breakdown of comeback cartridges, do us a favor, hit that like button. Drop a comment down below, let us know which classic cartridge you think deserves a comeback. And be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the firearms that built this country. Until next time, stay safe and shoot straight.